1. Welcome everybody to Welcome everybody to Geek Boots, Military Nerds. Here at Geek Boots, we like to tell you all about
Sorry.
We meant to restart that for a second.
I think you all so fucking much.
Stop recording.
Oh, we're gonna keep rolling. Fuck you.
Oh, God.
Oh, this is funny.
Welcome everybody to Geek Boots, Military Nerds. We like to tell you about the big green weenie and how it likes to continue to fuck us. Just like having conversations before you start a podcast and then bursting into laughter right as we start recording. We're gonna roll through this. Oh my god.
Those of you watching on YouTube might get the laughter.
Oh, everyone's gonna get the laughter.
Oh,
Oh, that was great.
God.
I think he meant understand, not hear it.
Anyway, so today's episode is all about San Diego Comic-Con and the coverage of it. There's a lot to talk about. A lot of movie trailers that happened, a lot of cool things that happened all over the con that I'm sure if anybody who has a smartphone who looks at it out of the 110 times a day that you look at it, probably saw something really cool from San Diego. We're going to talk about all of it as much as we can humanly possible. But bless our boots on the ground, Portraits in Cosplay. He did a report, as he always will now do. So we're gonna start our episode with that. He says, "Day 1, spent my. You good?" That's right up there with dipping that tea.
Oh, I figured out why it sounded so much like that. It's because his room doesn't have much in it, so you get the echo, the bathroomy echo sound too.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was dipping his tea earlier, and it sounded like dripping of urine. That's what it sounded like. We're not good.
We have great talks, by the way. It's very bonding. Very, very PG.
Welcome to a military podcast. Spent my birthday donating blood with the San Diego Blood Bank and completed a couple of photo shoots. For day
for
1,
him.
there seemed to be a lot of families here. Day 2, delayed open to San Diego Comic-Con, was supposed to open at 9 a.m., finally entered the con at 9:50. Completed the Marvel fan group shoot, 2 panel shoots, and squeezed in shoot a bit today, but wait till day 3. Day 3 is going to be a long-ass day, which started at 8:30 in the morning. Arrival at San Diego Comic-Con. Stay tuned for more details, and he sends me a fuck ton of amazing photos. Day 3 included a few photo shoots, but the big event was the masquerade contest. Fortunately enough to receive a VIP ticket that allowed me to sit close, but as close as I would have preferred, to the stage. There were 37 contestants, and the contestant that I was to get shots of was the 37th and last entry. Ha ha. I managed to get a few shots before leaving the masquerade contest at 10:45 p.m. Finally was able to get some sleep around 1 in the morning. Day 4, the last day of San Diego Comic-Con, was a short day. Met up with a few cosplay friends, Mary, Lexi, and her dad, Jim and Rachel, oddly enough. It was crowded in the exhibit hall, as it was on day 2, and a little less crowded than day 3. During the 4 days, I saw a few other cosplay friends and ran into non-cosplay friend who follows me on my personal account, now to get working on all the photos taken. Next event is D23 next month. You lucky son of a bitch. By the way, I only just now decided to read all of that, so I apologize for any grievances on
Great
terms of
preparation. Beautiful
reading
job.
out loud.
Question.
Go for it. As you
What's D23?
Disney.
What the fuck? Oh. Okay,
Oh.
sorry. Let me
Sorry.
answer this
It's-
one. Wow,
yeah, okay.
she has a seizure. Don't mind us.
Heart attack, more like.
So you know how everything has a convention? Like Twitch has a convention, YouTube has a convention, Disney has a convention. in Anaheim called D23. So that's D23.
Okay. Continue.
And since everything has a convention, there will soon be a convention called Cosplay Genemy Kills Dave 4.
We need to get
Highly
that shit on
verified.
pay-per-view.
Anyway, now we're going to throw actually to Mayan Goddess because she too was at San Diego Comic-Con. Tell us how your whole con went!
Okay, sorry.
And that's the convention. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on with our lives.
All right, see you guys next week. No, San Diego Comic-Con was amazing, crazy, stupid, amazing, and awesome, and my favorite convention that I've been to all year. Punto y aparte. No, I actually got to run into Alan.
Crazy.
Yeah, I got to run into Alan like on preview night Wednesday. We promised that we were going to get together, and I was going to be Zatanna, and it was awesome. We took pictures. We got to run into a bunch of cosplay friends, which I didn't realize, like, I didn't think I was going to run into anybody because San Diego Comic-Con is massive. There are tens of thousands of people that are there. That being said, yeah, like, we just saw everybody there. It was really inspirational to see that community kind of like come together like it did. What was it? Thursday, let me see if I can pull up all the stuff. I did my, I finally brought out Darla to her first convention. That was a lot of fun, and I got to meet up with a fellow Captain Sparklefingers, even though that's not his name. Lightning with my hands. And it was really cool. Like, we got to see a lot of people there. I got to see a lot of fans. I got to see a lot of veterans. That was really cool, too. And then me and my friend got featured on the DC Comics page, which was, oh my god.
This is like your second time now, too.
Yeah, because I got featured as Wonder Woman, too.
Yep.
And then Shazam Official, or Shazam Movie, their official Instagram, posted us in their story, and I went, oh my god. Yeah,
that's her orgasm face, by the way.
I slightly feel sorry for any guy you're with.
Or girl.
Slightly. Or girl.
Double the opportunity equals double the disappointment. What's up?
Yes.
Poor Jerry just broke. Yeah. Thank you. Here, I'll wait. Oh my god, he lost his camera too. That's how shook he is. So that
Wait,
was
what?
Your camera goes in and out sometimes.
You
And
can
it just
feel
happened
your
to do it.
disappointment on your face.
It just happened to do that right at that moment, so it was like
Nice.
it was like double angst when you're like watching a bad BBC documentary and they're going.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was great. So Thursday was awesome. Friday was really great. Who was I did my Maleficent. That was when they did like one of the big Disney shoots. So we got to meet a bunch of just really incredible cosplayers. And when I say that it's like the big guns of cosplay, like people don't fuck around with these things. There was a lady who basically was Captain Hook's ship, or the ship from Pirates of the Caribbean. She was like a no shit, sails and everything, motherfucking ship.
The
See,
Jolly
those
Roger.
are the cosplays that are like that need to be on the spotlight because like you get all these people obviously dressing up like characters and whatnot, but there's when people cosplay as items, then it's like, you know what? Good for you. I mean, I don't envy anybody around the New York Comic-Con last year when the guy dressed up as the whole convention, because as people were like, this cosplay is amazing, everyone was like, I fucking hated that guy. He was in the way, and it created a traffic
Yeah,
jam.
like you can't move past that. So it is pretty creative to see stuff like that. What was it? Saturday? Who did I do Saturday? I did Wonder Woman on Saturday.
Portraits of words.
And
That's how I say it all the time. And then when I talk about my cosplays, I talk about them like they're their individual persons. I'm like,
I
oh,
did
we gotta
that
get
today.
her out today.
yeah, I did the shit out of Batman the other day. Oh my gosh. Okay. You're
Is
like,
there a
"Oh,
sex tape
cosplay."
involved?
I was gonna say, did you film it at least?
Pornhub, duh.
Pornhub.
Gotta
Was
make
it
more money.
Chatterbait? I think it's what it's called now. Is the new one? I don't know. Anyway, I'm learning new things every day.
I just
But,
know we can make money on Pornhub. Moving
Why
on.
are we not on Pornhub? No kidding.
Your boobs aren't
No.
out enough.
No,
I think
actually-
he shakes them enough.
It's out of the focus.
That
But anyway,
was so. No.
this is
no.
my lazy shake.
You need to
I was
get
gonna
up.
say you're not
you need to
shaking
get
it
up a
all.
little bit.
There
There
it
we go.
is.
Okay.
Gotta
Hi,
get those.
everyone.
Gotta get those likes on YouTube at least.
So what was it?
Demonetized.
Surprise. No, I did that. I also did an interview with Shout Factory, and I got to talk about like our work here, our work with like in the community, and like the unsung heroes of cosplay, which are like the people who show up with like bandoliers of like sewing kits, like ready to help out in safety pins and bobby pins, because there's those type of people at conventions, and we freaking love you guys. Big hugs and hearts. But yeah, there's so much to do at San Diego Comic-Con. I cannot stress just how much there is to do. Even if you don't have a ticket, you can go there like the entire week and still run out of things to do, or like still not run out of things to do, because there's so much. There are panels, there are cosplay shoots, there are interviews, there are meet and greets, there are like interactive things. You can go outside the con floor and there's like experiences. Like there was a Detective Pikachu experience. That was awesome. There was a Brooklyn Nine-Nine experience. That was awesome. You could like, there was so much for so many people that like I didn't go to a single panel this year, which is a first for me. And I still had something to do from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed, like 20 hours later, because I didn't sleep like at all. It was great.
Do you need your San Diego Comic-Con badge to enter any of those outside events?
No.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like I had friends that went there the whole weekend, did not have a badge, and were still had a ton to do.
I was following The Boys, which I don't know about you guys. I've read the comic by Garth Ennis. Fucking love that hell out of that entire thing. And it was an outside thing, kind of like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I'm like, man, you mean to tell me I didn't need a badge to go there? I could have gone in there, met the cast of The Boys, fucking got a photo in their set. Fucking bullshit. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, because basically, so here's something that's very unique about San Diego Comic-Con that I haven't seen at any other convention. It's probably at other conventions at different states, just I haven't been out of state yet because I'm a dirt like that. What? But basically what happens is you've got San Diego Comic-Con, and then there's like a hotel next to, or there's a couple hotels that surround the area, and then there's the entire Gaslamp district, which is like the club district of San Diego, and the whole area is welcoming to this community. So you've got all these events that you don't even need to be in, because like all the bars are like, hey, come hang out with us. We've got like a nerd bingo, or like, hey, like they had what was it? Was it Nerdbot or FX? I forget who, but they had a fucking karaoke bus. You did not need a badge, and you could get on this giant karaoke bus that was just driving around everywhere. It was awesome. They also had like a trivia bike thing where it was like,
oh,
you
you
could
mean
get in
where
a bike.
everyone's in a circle thing with the like the bar bikes or whatever?
Yeah, the bar bikes, except it was
Okay.
like trivia, and you won prizes by answering trivia. You didn't need a badge for that. There was so much going on. What's up?
Yes, Jake.
What's a bar bike?
Okay, so picture
You'll find
The
out
bar
when you're of
table.
age. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
Well
So-
then.
you just take the what is it, when you normally have those bikes where multiple people could sit on them, but craft a oval shaped bar table so that a whole bunch of people can circle around it, and everyone's pedaling, and there's a bartender in the center dishing out beer while you're on this bike, and there's someone steering and navigating at the front.
Fiber Optic said it's basically a 20-person bike with a keg in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does the guy who doesn't drink tell you about a bar bike? What is
You make it sound like I'm an alcoholic. I don't drink that much.
Well, the thing was, like, you can, like, they have, like, regular drinks in
I
there
haven't
that are
drank in
non...
like a couple
20
hours.
minutes.
You sound so
That was the
good as a
most-
judge. Good for you.
You were so proud of that too. Like that was the most marine. That was the most military answer I've ever heard. I'm sorry. I just assume you can keep up with us. No kidding.
I think we all assume rightfully with our own branches. Let's be.
That's true. I'm gonna shut up.
Oh, that's awesome. What was your favorite?
I found you a picture.
Oh, yep. That's basically what it is.
That's one of the many versions I've seen out there. Yeah, there's one with. I can't believe I'm saying it's one with less to it. It's just like this red. It's weird. Anyway, what was?
Very good question though. One of our viewers wants to know if it was J4 that stole the cab. If you stole a cab or a police car or something like that on your Instagram. I think
Are you talking about the goddamn
the block party where the cops showed up. I think that's what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, that was when they were burning outside, and
Yes.
yeah, the cops
They're
all.
having their own Burning Man.
Oh yeah, that
Air
was
Force
that was like
deployment,
that
let
was
me
a
tell ya.
while ago.
Hey,
we
our
remember
fans.
his life better than he does.
Oh, you
Our
said,
fans
it
pay
was
attention.
Korea. It was on your Facebook.
Oh yes, Korea. Yeah, fucking Korea. Okay, so just a little bit of information for our civilian listeners about overseas duty tours. There are certain locations. Oh my god! By the way, Single Dad finally showed up. Right.
Anyway,
You'll hear us for the next.
There's
10
some
minutes,
static
but,
sound that actually just sounds like applause now that he's here. Anyway, so overseas locations, like say Germany, Italy, things like that, where there's not combat involved, but you're overseas because we have locations there. Some countries are more manageable than others. Korea is not one of them. I don't understand why, because in Germany, there are beer vending machines in the barracks rooms. These guys get drunk like there's no fucking tomorrow, no problems. Korea, there's a fucking rape charge every year because soldiers get crazy stupid drunk, go down to a place called Hooker Hill that's just a block away from Yongsan, and do stupid shit. Play stupid games, right?
Can I pause you for just a second?
That's Okinawa for Marines.
As soon as you say Hooker Hill, he pops up and his son is right there. And I'm so glad he could not hear that. Thank
Right.
God
That's
for
why I've got the
headphones.
headphones on.
Right. So yeah,
Love you
reason-
guys. I'm here.
Yes. So the reason why I posted that on our Geek Boots page was mostly a nod to anybody who's served, but yeah, Korea's a problem.
So is Okinawa.
Yep.
I was
Always
gonna
has been.
mention
like the fact that he's
Okinawa and
frozen now.
Japan, but
Masseuse, and we were all on curfew. You had to be back on post, scan through at 11. When I was leaving Korea, it had happened again, and they changed the curfew to 10 p.m. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, thank God I'm getting the fuck off of this fucking
So-
godforsaken location.
I have no idea what's going on, but I'm gonna just go ahead and jump into the conversation. One of my duty stations, I was in Suda Bay, Crete, for a year. It was a 12-month unaccompanied. Yes, I love Suda. And I was there in 2004 for the Olympics, so it was awesome. So we actually got to go over to Athens to go to the Olympics in Athens, Greece. Yeah,
Wow.
hate me. That's fine. I don't care.
Just remind all of us that you had the best time in service. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, you did have the best service. out of all
Yeah,
of
he
us, I
really
think.
did.
Back when it was still back when like you could still beat people, we had Connex box counselings, and you could show up drunk to formation, and the guys on either side of you would hold you up and be like, okay, yeah.
And then World War II happened. Yeah, yeah. Tell us more.
That's great.
I fucking hate you guys. And we have the dolphin. I'm not even here for 90 seconds.
This is the second time though. Already started.
Yeah, you already
True,
missed the
like,
first
right
time.
the first few
The
seconds,
episode
Dick Burton.
starts with her doing the dolphin laugh, so
I'm glad you added laugh on there because if she was just doing a dolphin to open up the episode,
Thanks
that would be
today.
awkward.
That's basically what happened.
Okay,
Jake broke it.
So
then it
going
broke
back-
up. Sorry.
so going back to my story, seriously, I check on board, and so part of our duty there is, like as the junior sailors, we have to sign up for ASF, Auxiliary Security Force. So we get trained to work alongside the Master at Arms, the Navy policemen, and everything like that, and Shore Patrol. And I find out at that time, part of like what we had to do was we had to stand watch on 2 guys that had gotten arrested out in town. Now, mind you, this is a 12-month unaccompanied tour. They'd already been under house arrest for 3 years. Literally sitting in their room. They were given an hour. Their meals were brought to them from the galley. They had an hour a day that they were allowed to go PT. They were waiting on the Greek government to press the charges and everything like that, because apparently they had gone out in town, gotten drunk, and beaten up some local nationals and everything like that. So they were still waiting on the Greek government to press charges. They were still there when I left, and they were expecting at least another 1.5 years of appeals by the Greek government, because the Greek government wanted to throw them in jail, and the American government wasn't having it and was like, hey, we're going to take care of these guys. But like, yeah, these guys, 5 years sitting in a room with nothing. So,
And they're still there.
yeah, I bet you they probably are.
Oh my God.
They went back for seconds.
So yeah, I mean, no matter where you go, there's horror stories. In Okinawa, obviously, a bad one. And any overseas duty station you go to, depending on what is there nearby, you're going to have curfews. You're going to have different restrictions and everything like that, where you can go.
Because other countries' governments don't put up with our shit.
No, they don't. Yeah,
or their own people's shit.
Yeah.
We're not loved around the world. Hold on just a second.
Fun fact for anybody who's never been to Germany, you should know this. You can go to jail for driving under the speed limit. I found this out, A, when my dad was serving there back in the 70s, and B, when my battle buddies were stationed in Germany when I was in Korea. So it's still a thing. If you think America's bad, wait till you get to another country and their government doesn't want to fuck around. Anyway.
Wow, that's great.
I have a Germany horror story too.
Of course you do. Was it in World War II?
No. 2005, 2006. So yeah, no, coming back from Iraq, we had already been extended in Iraq for 2 months. So were already not happy campers. Our plane on the way back stopped in Germany and then broke down, and they couldn't get the parts in. So we had to spend another night in Germany. So they put us up in a hotel during Oktoberfest and then said, you're not allowed to drink. You are confined to the hotel.
Jesus.
The entire battalion stuck in a hotel. Yeah.
That's like having Scarlett Johansson in your room and say, you can't look at her.
Yes. I mean, after I
just had
being in prison for 12
Two
years.
questions.
I only had a layover in Germany.
What you did on your time there, we really don't want to hear.
What? 2 questions. Is Scarlett Johansson naked? And 2, what's going to happen to me if I look at her?
Your eyes burn
One,
out.
does it really matter?
Yeah.
And
I know, right?
and 2, I guess it would range anything between having your dick chopped off and having your dick sauteed and then shoved down your throat.
Then I would say it's worth it. Look at her. It's Scarlett fucking Johansson.
Dude,
I will
she's so-
fucking look at her and die happy. Let's do this.
She's so amazing.
You wouldn't even die. You would just not have play toys anymore.
I'm thinking of
Yeah, I was about to say that-
was it Hostel
that-
Part 2, where she cuts off his balls and goes, "Let him bleed to death." That's what'll happen to me. Just let myself bleed to death.
He's like, I would rather be dead than not have my play toys.
Yep. Goddamn right, Jeremy. Anyway, switching gears back onto San Diego Comic-Con. Might as well have not had my balls because I couldn't go.
And now
My balls. Okay, sorry. I'm not about to turn that into a song.
Now that Single Dad is officially here, we can shift unless Mayan Goddess, do you have anything else that you would like to add?
Other than like, yeah, there was something to do. Like, if you're into panels, it's like the panels are amazing. They did so many premieres. It was really great. If you're into collectibles, there are so many exclusives to San Diego Comic-Con that like there are people who like just their whole time they're on the merch floor grabbing stuff. If you're into meeting people or doing cosplays, there's some fantastic jaw-dropping cosplays out there. And if you're just there to have a good time, there's always something to do. It's really great. So, yeah.
I wanna do San Diego potentially next year because Sideshow Collectibles is always there, and Sideshow is kind of now the inspiration behind my newest Punisher cosplay. Where I was like, I don't want to shave, and Punisher obviously has a beard, but if I put that face paint they have for the new hot statue that they got, I can rock that version of the Punisher and not have an issue. So I want to go there dressed as the Punisher, get a photo with the statue itself, get photos with the people of Sideshow, and be like, thanks to you, my Punisher can now be a thing. So yeah, that's awesome. Now, speaking of panels and things that have been out and about, it's time to talk about stuff that has been released thanks to San Diego Comic-Con, because it's kind of the big con where everybody wants to go and premiere something new and awesome. I gotta say, I think it's funny that Marvel always takes the spotlight usually. When they announced the things that they were announcing, it brought up a lot of interesting questions, obviously, but the new actor that they have for Blade, I am both wanted Wesley Snipes, but at the same time, I'm super fucking excited that Blade is now part of the MCU.
Yeah. I'm glad that Blade's part of the MCU, and I'm also glad that the person who plays it will probably pay his taxes. So that would be nice. Like, just yeah. And they picked a really good actor to do it, so
he is. Yeah, because I mean, he's in Alita Battle Angel. He was Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
Yeah.
So I was so pissed at that series arc, at his character arc in that show, because they wasted an awesome talent in that show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a fantastic actor. I will, again, as I posted in my story, I have feelings about it because I'm so heartfelt with Wesley Snipes, because Wesley Snipes is one of those actors like Nicolas Cage or Zachary Levi, who grew up reading these specific comics and then fought so much to get these roles. I'm not going to say whether or not Nicolas Cage was perfect for Ghost Rider, but Wesley Snipes did Blade a lot of justice. So to see it, I was just like, oh man, I'm bummed out. I was really hoping for Wesley Snipes. However, I will wait to see what kind of trailers they produce to have an answer. I feel like with this new actor, they're probably going to do the other version of Blade where he's got the strips of hair instead of the other hairstyle that they have.
I think if we compared, like, kind of along those same lines, a lot of people were giving Christian Bale a lot of shit because they were just like, he's not a Batman, because everyone's so used to like Michael Keaton and like Adam West and those, and he kind of took it into the now iconic role or direction that it went. So like, I don't want to compare it too much, but at the same time, it's like I'm kind of keeping an open mind.
When it comes
to Batman, you gotta understand with the Dark Knight trilogy and everything like that, and Christian Bale, you got to look at who was Batman before him. I mean, you had George Clooney, you had Val Kilmer. I mean, after Michael Keaton, they made some bad choices for Batman.
It did.
So that kind of soured a lot of people against the entire franchise. So when they go and they pick like another actor,
they're just not again.
Are you? So it's just backlash.
Yeah.
And then look at what he did with it. And it was freaking amazing.
And
yeah,
to be fair,
and then same thing with Ben Affleck.
To be fair.
And I'm sure
same thing with Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
everybody thought Ben Affleck was going to suck at it.
And I'm sure Single Dad can make the same comments as I'm about to say. So my coworker, who's in his 30s, had actually stated, it's hilarious because when it comes down to certain fandoms that have a literature base and then they get an actor, there's always going to be complaining. Always. When Michael Keaton was first cast, my friend said he had so many people around him going, God, that's an awful acting choice. They're picking a rom-com guy to play Batman. This is horrible. This is stupid. I'll never watch it. And then you see the movie and you're like, never mind, I'll shut up.
The same thing happened with the Hulk. Why am I blanking out on his name? He was a rom-com. Yeah, Mark Ruffalo was a rom-com guy before the Hulk. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite are when, have you ever heard the, oh, that would be terrible. I would do so much better a job at it. And you're just going, you've never acted in a movie ever. Like, we just hang out and talk shit about comics. What are you talking about? Like, there's more to it than, yeah. Anyway.
I've been in a movie.
And
Was it in
not that
Pornhub?
kind.
No, it was. I'm on
You beat me
Netflix
to
and
it.
everything.
That was amazing. I love that. We love you.
Constantly joking. Yeah, so there were tons of stuff that was.
You.
Yeah, we love ya. Love ya. We're waiting for J4 to jump in any minute now.
He's like, no.
He's like, no, I am
You
waiting.
guys.
Embrace it.
J4 is sitting there going, can I leave now? Like, is it okay for me to leave this podcast?
All he has to do is cut the feed and be like, "Oh, sorry guys, I'm on deployment."
With my sewing machine and my house.
And his bonfires. Yeah, so Marvel had some.
I want to hear about Genemy's movie. I'm
I,
serious.
I was in the movie Butter. I don't know if you've seen it. It's on Netflix. I'm in like the
What?
last scene. Yeah.
In the last scene
I
of
have
Butter.
no talking. I have no talking. I was extra, but yeah. And I was
That's
also
so
in the TV show The Geek.
I am pulling out my phone. That's why it looks weird on the webcam. I need to look at this.
Yeah, he's pulling out his phone.
Butter with
Butter.
Justin Bieber.
Phone.
Movie last scene. That doesn't help at all.
Enhance.
Intense.
Enhance.
Enhance.
Might have it screenshot.
There's not enough enhancing that's gonna make that any better.
Oh my god. Oh my.
Good thing I don't have self-esteem issues.
I think
don't
he's
need-
talking about. I think he's talking about Tom Cruise, not you, Genevieve.
Speaking of which, oh my god, did you see that new trailer?
For what?
Which
Don't
one?
just say new trailer.
Sorry.
It's the
We
topic
talked
of the
about
day.
it with
For
SDCC.
Top Gun Maverick. The one
Yes.
that Tom
This is
Cruise
exactly
did.
where we're going to segue to, by the way, because
Why?
That
Top
was
Gun
good
Maverick.
segue.
Holy fuck. So it was stated by a lot of other celebrities that Tom Cruise himself is such a huge actor in Hollywood that he kind of stole the show. Like, it was great. Marvel usually steals the show, but a lot of people were like, "Are you kidding me?" Tom Cruise walked around San Diego Comic-Con. Anything else is almost invalid.
Yeah.
Like, nothing matters. It's Tom motherfucking Cruise. And all he had to do was come out and apparently he doesn't do a lot of stage stuff a lot. So for him to go out there, I watched it. He was like, "Hi everybody." It was like, "Oh my god." He's just sitting there laughing, kind of like Keanu Reeves at E3. He's just like, "I am so not used to this much positivity right now. Whoa." Like, this is how crazy the fans can
Haha. Hey, you're magnificent.
get.
I loved that so much. I wanted
Oh.
to give him such a big hug. Sorry.
But yeah, dude, I am so ready and excited for Top Gun Maverick. 30 plus years in the waiting, and oh god. And apparently, okay, so as much as I appreciated the original movie, I will say as a critique, I didn't like the original Top Gun for the fact that there was not enough dogfights in a movie about flying in the air and fighting other jet planes. So I'm just like, motherfucker. I got more action out of Hot Shots than I did Top Gun. That's the way I'll put it. So the fact that Tom Cruise himself has stated that this is a love letter to aviation, there's a lot more shots in the plane and planes flying around. I've got such a raging army boner for this movie right now.
I'm
Okay.
excited about it too, and you
Please.
can definitely see like the progression in filmmaking because like trying to film stuff in the air back then was pretty tough. So
Yeah.
Yes.
for them to be able to
And-
do that now is just like,
And to have
And-
the coordination with the military and everything like that, have the support of the Navy to be able to film their pilots and everything like that. I'm sorry. Yes, I know this is really bad. I remember seeing that in the drive-in when it first came out.
In World War II?
Yes.
yes, yes, I love every moment of this. This is so great.
How hard was it to clean out the popcorn out of your buggy?
It's pretty easy. We just took a trick from the
Figured it
Army.
out.
We pour some diesel in it, light it on fire, and stir it with a big 2x4.
Hey, you know what?
So,
It fucking works.
Oh, this is so great.
so
Anyway.
but you got to look at filmmaking back then and what special effects were available.
Sure.
And yeah, they had some practical effects in there for when the planes blew up and everything like that. But there really wasn't it. There isn't CGI. 30 years ago, there was nothing.
So
They had to do. They
and keying on the whole practical effects, I think again the talking about advancements in technology now and efforts with the Navy, there's going to be little to no CGI in this movie. It is Tom Cruise flying an F-22 fighter jet. It is
wasn't-
these actors.
Those-
They what?
I don't think those were F-22s.
Oh,
no.
Those are F-18s, aren't they?
18s, yeah.
gotcha.
F-
Well,
Air Force for the win over here. Hold up a second. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
right.
The Navy doesn't have 22s; they have F-18s.
Ah, okay. Noted. But no, he was on an interview with Conan O'Brien, and he had stated that Tom Cruise has stated that he wanted actors that not only obviously can act really well and perform very well, but he needed to be sure that his actors could survive. He put those actors in those jets, and they flew them around to give them the experience and made sure that they can handle it, stomach it. So all the actors that are flying in these jets in this movie, stop fanning. it's hitting your microphone. So
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
You're like, I don't understand why, but okay. And then I tell you,
She's like,
oh
"I
shit.
stop."
But anyway, yeah,
No, Tom Cruise just decided to be really fucking rude right then.
yeah. Right?
For no reason
I
whatsoever.
decided to be like my actor counterpart and tell you to go fuck yourself. No, yeah, apparently all the actors are flying in these jets, are doing these things. So, again, that's why I'm super excited for this movie, because it's really going to be these guys in these jets doing these things. Aside from, when they gun another guy down, that's obviously going to be either CGI or something crazy. But super excited for this movie.
No, they're really gunning people down.
Yeah.
But
You had to sign a waiver to act in the movie.
it'll be like Cannibal Holocaust, where after they were done filming the movie, the director forcibly made all of his actors sign a contract to keep low, stay out of the spotlight, don't talk or anything. That way it would make the experience feel like this movie is real. And the government had to step in, FBI pulled them in. They're like, okay, did you make a stuff movie for everybody to watch? He goes, oh God, no. And he had to pull his actors in and go, no, see, they're alive, here they are. And they're like, okay, well, your movie's really graphic, so we're gonna ban it from the United States. So, thumbs up.
Yay.
If you don't hear from Tom Cruise after the filming of the movie, you know what happened.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that movie. Like that one's gonna be great. I think a close second would be, honestly, Rick and Morty. I have a soft spot for Rick and Morty. The battles that they had to go through to be able to continue what they're doing, and now that they have full creative control, is really exciting as an artist and as like a fan. It's just really. It's a really great thing to give people that, or give creators that type of control.
Yeah.
So, and you can
But
tell
that's
by
where-
like passion. Yeah.
But that's
great.
where all the humor and that's where like the intelligence of that show comes from. You couldn't do it with a bunch of network executives telling you what you can and can't write and what you can and can't do.
That show is because everybody gets super drunk and then just performs.
Yeah, they did that.
They did that.
There's
Yes,
a
I remember
behind
Totally
the
did
scene
that.
of the actor who plays Rick and Morty, and he is drinking tequila on set. And he's like, "How drunk do you want me to get on this?" And then the obviously she's younger. She comes up and she goes, "Okay, I think we need to pull back on the alcohol." And he goes, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, you're
What?
getting." Yeah, she goes, "Yeah, you're getting a little too drunk, and we still need you to be able to perform." And he goes, "Man, you don't know what you're talking about. Get out of here, kid." And then
He
just takes
created
a
and wrote the
shot.
characters.
I know. He goes, I'll give it to you in 3, 2. It's great.
Ah!
But yeah, like, there was one who was like, this was the least productive thing I've ever done. A day of on set I've ever had in my life. It was great. It's like, yeah.
Actually, we're gonna take it back step because he's Navy, single dad. Why don't you talk about Top Gun? Give your moment to talk about Top Gun. Have you seen the fucking trailer? Please tell me you've seen the trailer.
Yes,
Okay, thank God.
of course I have.
You have a life,
You've got
so.
you got classic characters, and you've got Maverick, you got Viper, and so I'm totally stoked to see this movie. Like I said, I remember seeing this in the drive-in when it came out. Like my dad, like when we went to go see that, my dad was an F4 pilot for the Marine Corps. He transferred over and was an A4 driver in El Toro. And he would tell us stories about how they would get the Marine pilots in El Toro would get called in, and they would be the OP4 for the Navy pilots out at Miramar. So, and for those of you listening, the civilians in OP4 is the opposing force. So the bad guys that the Navy pilots have to train to fly against and everything like that. My dad was one of those. So this is back in the 70s and 80s and everything.
That is so cool. Altor doesn't exist anymore, actually. Random fact. Like, the base is just like...
Yeah. Well, I mean, after Independence Day, because that's where Will Smith was. I mean, it kind of got wiped off the map, remember?
And now Will Smith is joining everyone to storm Area 51.
Dude, that shit is still going on.
But we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Let's see. But yes, no, Top Gun. I'm super excited about that. There's actually 2 movies that I'm a little bit more excited about. They're both Marvel, and nobody has touched on them yet. So
that's because no one gives a shit anymore.
What the hell?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You're like, fuck you, man.
You're fired.
Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah. So, Top Gun. It's gonna be fucking fantastic. I'm excited as well. Speaking of taking flight, how many Star Trek fans do we have on this podcast?
Ish.
J4,
I've
you're
already
fired.
been online researching the wineries for the Picard wine.
Dude, I am so excited for Picard. Okay, so I wasn't super into the idea of the new show that had been out. Mostly because I'm really getting tired of them keep doing shows that are in the past, keep going into the past. I'm like, okay, we still have a lot of space to discover. We can create new villains. It's endless. What the fuck are we doing with our lives right now? So when they decided they're going to do Picard, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, this is going to be exciting. The trailer didn't... How do I explain this? The trailer only answered the question of where he's coming from to come back. But I have no idea what's about to happen, and that's why I'm kind of super excited.
Apparently there were some really great there were apparently some really great details that were shown in the Picard experience that was off-site in one of the experiences in the Gaslamp district. I didn't get to see it because when I finally found it, it was already Sunday afternoon and everything was shut down, and I was like, yeah.
What the fuck? You're one of the podcast members to go to San Diego. You need to get on this shit.
I don't
Girl,
think
you
we
realize
can
how
do
much shit is over
everything.
there? Like,
Yeah, you
there's.
have no idea.
Okay, let me put it this way. There were people waiting 6 hours in line to do the Brooklyn Nine-Nine experience that was 3 minutes long.
No. Mm-mm.
Like, girl, there's so much to do at San Diego Comic-Con. Like,
I wish San Diego Comic-Con was like Disneyland, where they had an app and a map with pointed wait times for everything that was going on. That way you can just look at the map and go, yeah, no, fuck that.
here's the thing. With San Diego Comic-Con, just assume there's a line for everything.
Everything,
Everything.
Everything.
especially the bathroom.
Especially the bathroom.
Just bring bottles with you.
I was gonna say, aren't you close to Los Angeles? Can't I just defecate on the floor now? I was
San
like,
Diego's closer to Mexico,
do.
but I mean, we'll just leave that there.
I had to. Okay. Fucking. Yeah. So excited for Picard. Excited for that. I'm not a huge Trekkie. I'm more of a Star Wars nerd, obviously, but I am excited to be able to watch Star Trek again because, funny enough, that's where I got my start in Star Trek was The Next Generation. So excited for that one. Scary stories to tell in the dark. Please tell me I'm not the only one who read that book.
I have it for the boys.
It's so
Well,
good.
it's so
That's a
good.
fucked up thing to do as a parent, but I love you. Like, that's.
So I guess my
I
mom's
also
a
read them
fucked
go
up
to fuck
parent.
to sleep. So I mean,
Scary stories to tell in the dark.
Here's my favorite part about it. Guillermo del Toro.
yes,
Like, his visual works
anything he
are
touches.
so. Yeah, the story could be terrible, but you know for a fact if Guillermo del Toro's involved, it is going to be a visual masterpiece, and your eyes
Yes.
will never be the same. And so the fact that they
Pan's
put him.
Labyrinth.
And thank you for rolling your tongue when you say his name.
Guillermo del
I don't think she
Toro?
has a choice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just her.
Yeah, I would probably. My
It's-
mom would like teleport into the room if I said tortilla instead of tortilla.
Oh, there she
Like-
is! She's behind you.
So it
Just
was
got
funny.
death choked.
I was playing clarinet
She just
back,
gets smacked upside the head with a chancla.
back when I first started reading this book. I was playing the clarinet at the time, so obviously I was learning notes, and so I started doing it on the clarinet. But unfortunately, the only thing I can remember was the ending piece to one of my favorite parts of the whole entire story. And the worms crawl in, and the worms crawl out in your stomach and out your snout, and your eyes fall out, and your teeth decay, and that's the end of a perfect day.
Yay!
These books. Oh God. How do I?
Not only were the stories just traumatizing, but the pictures that went with them were iconic. They were
like my favorite. Oh,
even
hey,
for
look at
people
that.
who have never seen it. Yeah, even people who have never
Yeah.
seen it, they fucking know the cover. Like you could, yeah.
Except for that one.
J4's like, no, fuck you guys.
Never seen it, never heard of it.
It's like I don't know anything.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I forgot I had water in my mouth.
even the most simplest of photos. So if you're on YouTube, you're gonna be able to see this. But that, I don't know why, but that's all creepy as hell. Like
It's Danny DeVito.
that's why it's creepy as hell.
Out a neck and
High beams, wedding dress, the hook.
The hook is a good one.
The hook
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Looking,
The-
I don't know why it was my favorite, but I'm looking for the one where the person's just walking down, trying to live their life, doing their thing, and they keep feeling something poke on their shoulder, and they keep turning around, and nothing's there, and then freaking you find out when they look up above them,
Spoiler
it's
alert.
this.
Oh, my favorite. Yeah.
spoiler alert.
It's
Yeah, 'cause
not
the
in
other
here.
thing-
Why isn't it in here? I guess it must be in one of the
My
other
favorite,
books. Isn't
my
there
favorite
three
one
of
was
them?
still the ribbon. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's 2 or 3 of them.
there was
But
like
the
this-
ribbon one.
Yeah, those
With
stories.
the girl that has the ribbon around her neck.
I can't watch.
Oh, I know
I-
that one.
Do you remember that one?
I
Yeah.
could not watch Goosebumps to save my life at that age, but boy, let me tell you, I read all of the scary stories, and I enjoyed the hell out of them. I don't understand myself.
Nice.
I was more of a Fear Street person than a Goosebumps person.
Nice. No, that's a good one too.
Babysitter's Club.
Tales from the Crypt. Whoa!
Tales-
We're
Tales
not
from the
talking about
Crypt, yeah.
Pornhub right now, okay?
Nice. There's it is.
There it
Babysitter's Club.
I have over like 200 of those books and
Oh
in my
my
house.
gosh.
It's kind of
So-
an obsession.
Ah.
But yeah, anyway, for the movie Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, much like anything that is based on literature coming into a screen, I mean, we already just got done discussing about it with Batman and all those other Marvel movies and everything like that. My biggest fear is how well are these stories going to translate onto the big screen? Like, for me, the storytelling in and of itself is what the horror. It wasn't just the look of all this artwork. It was the storytelling. So, really hoping this pulls out.
You have
Because-
one of the greatest storytellers in Hollywood helming this project.
Yes.
So
But-
I'm not gonna massacre his name. I don't want Mayan
Guillermo del
to.
Toro. I got you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mayan Goddess. Mayan Goddess. Racist. Me, not you. I mean, yeah, you're the racist too.
Everyone's a little bit racist sometimes. Da-da-da. Doesn't necessarily make it a crime. Yeah, okay.
I feel really bad for some of the other members on this right now because I feel like J4 hasn't said shit all
He
the
doesn't know
whole
any of
entire
this
episode
stuff.
because he hasn't watched anything. He doesn't know anything that's going on.
He's
That or he
kinda-
just froze. No,
he's kind
No,
of
no.
Nope, he's
He's
there.
there. He's shaking his head at you. He is
I
beeping.
went out is what happened to me. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, so many people could say that about so many people. It doesn't matter how well you are. I mean, some people are just still gonna be like, please don't fuck this up.
I will say this: there was a little bit of drama with San Diego Comic-Con because DC did not have a panel. They were there. They did they had like some stuff there, but they did not show anything. So, which was kind of like a lot of people in the community were just like, "What?" So yeah,
Meh.
They have their own
Yeah.
con now.
there we go.
Yeah, the DC Con.
They're gonna have release their own stuff at their own con.
Or they're
Well,
just keeping things close to the vest because it's not ready yet.
that's what I'm hoping is the case.
I would rather wait until they have something polished to actually release. I mean, we just found out the other day that J.J. Abrams just signed a
Yes.
freaking $500 million contract with Warner Brothers for DC.
Which I'm
Apparently
super
he's-
ecstatic about because
Apparently, he's going to be helming the next Superman and Green
Nice.
Lantern. So
yes.
I like
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams.
Not,
Alright.
not to mention there are some there have been some people that have gotten to see Birds of Prey and they're saying really really exciting things about it. So that like it's
Well,
like,
and then you got
for
this-
me, that's one of those what Tom Cruise just said a minute ago. Please don't fuck this up. Please don't
Yeah.
fuck this up.
Yeah.
At
There-
this point, whenever Warner Brothers does something of the DC IP, that's usually the first thing that comes to my mind is please don't fuck this up.
Yeah, we lucked out with the individual pieces. I mean, I personally enjoyed Man of Steel. I really enjoyed
enjoyed-
Aquaman. I enjoyed Shazam, and I enjoyed Wonder Woman. And it seems like on an individual level, they're really good. But when they did Justice League and when they did Dawn of Justice, there were a lot of people who were like, "This is horseshit. This isn't Marvel." Which, of course, I respond with, "Because it's not Marvel."
well, 'cause the thing was they were
the only
trying
ones
to
that-
compete with Marvel, but the thing is like Marvel had established something, and DC was
Yeah.
like, we got to do that right now before they had fully established all these characters and stuff like that. So honestly, now I feel like they finally gotten their footing. They
To
just
be
have
fair,
yeah.
To be fair.
DC Comics, in terms of Justice League and their cartoons, their animated movies, their comic books, when they start something new for all these characters, they start with the big bang fight and then they go to the individual stories. It's totally possible for them to do. They just need to find somebody to fucking be able to do it. That's the problem. Like, they have so many different ideas that they could have done. Like, okay, they introduced Steppenwolf, who is a minuscule character to Darkseid, one of the greatest comic book villains of all time, strongest villains of all time. Lead into that. Like, if you really want to make a big fight and kind of just put Marvel in its place, lead into that. Lead with that. Was it Granny Goodness? Who's got the all of that, and yeah,
the new gods.
Exactly. They can totally do that.
You just don't want to start with
I hear you can talk to fish.
That would be like if in the first Avengers movie, if they had started like
With
Thanos as the big bad.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
it's like
Gotta work your
premature
way up.
ejaculation right there.
what I'm saying is, I mean, you don't need to start with the big bad. You just need to start with something. They could still start by introducing these characters with a global catastrophe to bring them together that isn't a huge name. Look at Justice League, the animated series, one of the biggest cartoon shows back in the time. They started it with a 3-episode series of random aliens that never got brought forth again. And at the end of the battle, Superman and Batman were both like, you know, we can't do this alone. Why don't we just create a team? And then it blossomed from there. And that's exactly what I think they should do, because
Didn't they start with the White Martians?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They tried to take over the planet, and Martian Manhunter helped them out, John Jones, and yeah. At the end of it, Superman was like, I can't do this by myself. We need to start up a team. And Bruce was like, well, if you're going to get a team, you need a fucking place to stay. I have something up my sleeve, because he has a satellite that he doesn't use anymore, and that's become the Watchtower.
Hey.
But yeah, if DC doesn't have anything at San Diego, I'm with Jake. If they need to polish it, make sure it's right before they present something. I mean, it's not unheard of, but Marvel,
I am a patient man.
Yeah,
I'm
Marvel
willing
was
to wait. Yeah.
the reason why Marvel was capable of just coming out and saying, here's our new actor for Blade without showing any footage is because they've already been established. That's why it works. Frankly, the only other thing I would say that would also work is, for shits and giggles, if Tom Cruise had come out and said, by the way, we're doing this movie with no footage, I would have been like, oh, fuck yes, and then wait for the trailer to release.
I think, okay, please don't hate me when I say this.
I already do.
Don't worry, we already do.
Okay. Yay, I hate you guys too. I feel like I'm kind of burnt out by Marvel, and so taking a break from Marvel, it would be really nice. I'm like, I respect the fact that they're like, here's all of our stuff for Phase 4, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. It's just I need a breather. I need to at least some point go to the bathroom. I need to say hi to my wife, kind of thing. Like, I've neglected her for years. Yeah.
To be fair.
To be fair.
I agree with you 110%. That's why when just before Avengers Endgame came out, they had announced that they're going to take the next year off. Now, if that's still a thing, I have no idea. I'm really hopeful.
It's not.
It's not. See,
It's not.
I'm going to tell you
Black
right
Widow
now.
comes out next early spring next year?
Well, I think it is.
Yeah, so I'm
April,
super
May.
exhausted. At this point, my response is the only reason why I would even go to the premiere at this point is because of this podcast. If this organization wasn't established, I would be like, cool, your Phase 4 is going to wait till it's on DVD. I need a fucking break. Fuck you, Marvel. I'm not afraid to say that to that organization.
If we could get in there, I would be totally like,
Right? Geek
I'll
Food
probably
says,
go to
fuck
opening
Marvel.
I'm still enjoying it. If anything, I'm glad they're not taking a break, because if you take a break, then they're gonna lose that hype train.
Yes and no.
I think we were burnt out by the time Captain Marvel came out.
I was burnt out.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I
I mean,
definitely wasn't.
see, but this is
Yeah.
exactly it though.
But then again, I also I don't watch TV. I don't
Right. But
my visual entertainment it comes from movies when they come out, and I only go to a few a year because kids.
Right.
So,
But
so like
take
the
this-
Marvel movies and a couple other onesies and twosies here and there. Those are the only
Yes.
ones I actually go see.
And how
for the
much
most
of Phase 4 is going to be dependent upon the shows
yeah.
like Loki
Like-
and
Yeah, that's
Like it was with Phase 2.
and
Right.
Captain
I'm,
America.
I'm a little bit bitter about that. Because like I tried watching like a couple years ago. I tried watching the
Agents of
Agents
S.H.I.E.L.D..
of Shield. It's too much of a time commitment for me. I would rather spend my time at home doing other things than watching TV.
So
Um,
let's look at the logistics and math of this as a whole. So on this podcast already, out of the 5 of us, 2 of us are saying we are burnt out. 2 of us are saying no, I can keep going. Look at that as a whole. You are already saying we are now saying that half of Marvel's fan base, out of the 4 of
Army
us
doesn't
that
get
have
math. Don't worry
voted,
about it. It's okay.
out of the 4 of us that have voted,
He's Army. It's cool.
fuck you. Fine, you know what? Fuck you. Single dad, are you burnt out or are you okay to keep going?
Abstain.
There you go. See,
he pleads
there
with
you
this.
go. Move on. Anyway, but that is all. You see what I'm saying? Like, it already seems like
oh no, I get
half
what
of
you're
your
saying.
fans are going to be burnt out, half of your fans are not. Again, I'm going to go to the premiere night just so that the following week we could stay on top and stay trendy whenever a movie comes out. But as far as it's concerned, I would personally like to take a break.
Well, I
One
mean,
year. That's all I
technically-
ask.
I mean,
It would-
technically,
it would
is
be nice, though,
once a
'cause,
year.
like-
it isn't until spring.
Yeah, to be fair,
Correct.
like some of the shows
To
are
be
pretty
fair.
good. Like,
I'm gonna
Ag-
get sued by
Agents of
Kennedy.
Shield.
Oh yeah, probably.
Agents of Shield had some really great moments, and Cloak and Dagger, I feel like has been completely going under the radar because that show's really good, but not many people are paying attention to it because it came out like right around the same time as like Captain Marvel, Endgame, Spider-Man, and people were like, Cloak and what?
Yeah.
So it gives the TV shows. Sorry, buddy, I hate to break it to you. I know you don't watch TV shows, but it gives those TV shows a chance for people to enjoy it because there were some really, really great Marvel shows that went under the radar. Like Legion. Legion was just like mind-blowing because it went a completely different direction, and not many people knew about it because they were like, oh, is it part of the movie? No.
So, speaking of TV shows and swinging this back around to the drama of no DC panel, quote finger here, I'm surprised there isn't a panel because there were a trailer for all of the CW DC shows. So the fact that there's not a panel for the fact that they are coming out, that also, I have to say, that's pretty annoying.
And
because-
Crisis.
And Crisis. The Crisis is coming, and Brandon Routh has been nodded to reprise Superman. Granted, it's Kingdom Come Superman, which I'm also super excited about because that's my favorite version of Superman. And Linda Carter is coming back as Wonder Woman. Fucking holy shit. Like these are huge announcements. Like, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of announcements as a whole, whether at the convention or not, Marvel, take a seat. Linda Carter's coming back. Like, for me personally, when I heard that, I'm like, Marvel what? Marvel's doing what now? Because
How
DC
cool would
just
it
dropped...
be? How cool would it be to see Linda Carter and Gal Gadot like standing next to each other in their respective?
They have met so many times in person. I'm surprised they don't try and throw on their costumes and stand together for a photo shoot.
It's
I'm
it's
sure it
don't
probably
actually-
because the world would implode. Like,
Yeah, it would
You
break
really,
the internet.
Good.
yeah.
Good.
The
Good.
internet.
No, like it's really inspiring. Have you heard Linda Carter talk about Gal Gadot? Though?
Oh yeah.
It's
Praise.
like she's my daughter, and it's just so inspiring because every once in a while you hear people saying like, oh well, he's no blah 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 or she's no blah blah blah, and you like compare them to older generations that have done that,
I don't like that either.
and just it's really not fair to like the new generation. It's like, okay, well, we're never allowed to experience that type of emotion that you guys had, so to see Linda Carter just give nothing but praise for like the direction that Gal's taken it's
I'm so excited. I am so excited. I cannot fucking wait. So yeah, those were huge announcements. Another obvious huge announcement is the fact that the Green Arrow, who kind of really started it for this generation
Well, they call it
Is-
an Arrowverse for a reason.
Yes.
is ending. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah,
So,
that
that's-
they took a final bow, and like there was not a dry eye in sight. It
Yeah.
because they basically create, yeah, like I said, it's
Yeah.
the Arrowverse, and if it wasn't for that show, we wouldn't have these fantastic
That's-
actors in fantastic shows. So for them, I forget who said it best. But it was basically like, we're gonna end this while it's still good, so we can let the next generation of shows take the mantle.
Which
And
which
they're
is
ending it on a pretty good
perfect.
note too. Yeah.
It's very similar to RDJ and Chris Evans
Yeah.
in the MCU.
And
I mean-
Stephen Amell has done such a fantastic job
Yeah, he
in that
has.
role. Like
I don't like Arrow. Sorry.
And
the
the
awkward
crowd
silence.
goes silent.
Right.
I watched it, and then the only time I ever watched it again is when they did the crossover episodes. I watched like maybe 2 seasons.
Girl.
And I-
Let's be
Girl.
honest. She
Mika,
only watched
Mika,
it to watch him
come here.
pond a fish ladder.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yep.
Salmon ladder.
Yeah.
I don't
Same
even
with-
see that.
Like, how can you like drool over Chris Evans and then go to Stephen Amell's abs and go, meh?
I mean,
Like,
he's got good abs, but I don't think he is that attractive.
Okay, so I'll say this. Chris Evans looks great with the beard on his face. Stephen Amell looks fantastic regardless. I'll say that with all honesty. Stephen Amell's an attractive man, and I am jealous because I wish I had his bone structure.
But okay, so you gotta understand that I get attracted to actors, characters, not actors. So I like Captain America's character. I do not like.
So again, hopefully not being sued by Leonard Kennedy. To be fair.
to be fair.
I totally understand where you're coming from because there are times when I felt like I had to turn off Arrow because I'm reading the comic book and he is like the equivalent. Oh God, he's like Spider-Man in DC where he cracks jokes while fighting.
He's flippant.
He's flippant. He's always doing it during his comics, but in the show, he's this brooding emo
He's very
guy,
broody.
just super dark.
Well,
and it's
can't
He's
do
taking
it.
up the Batman personality without being Batman.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's the way they created the character to be. They
So,
created him to
Snyder
be Batman.
Exactly. So I understand your hesitation towards it, but I still have to admit I love Green Arrow because I love some of the things that he has stood for or what he wants to do, how malleable he is as a character. He started off killing people and then he goes, I need to change. And then every season his character would change and adapt because he realizes he needs to do a better job than what he did last time.
Well,
He
because
also-
when he first came in, it was all, he was coming in to get revenge. It had nothing to
Yeah.
do with him becoming a superhero.
It was also really cool how they brought in some of the DC characters. Like, there were a lot of people that were like, "Who's Black Canary?" And I'm like, "I'm glad you asked. Let's go."
Let me tell you.
But yeah, I
Like-
love
Barry
how,
Allen.
like all the spinoffs. Like I watched
The Flash.
and like I was trying to even keep them together where I'd watch the Arrow, then I'd watch the Flash, then I'd watch the Arrow, and then I would watch Flash because I don't watch anything else on Netflix anymore. I don't have cable. But so I was trying to keep them together, and I was just like, I got to the point where I was like, I was not looking forward to watching the Arrow. Like it was too dark, too broody, too heavy. And then I turned around and watched the Flash, which was fun and light. So much fun. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna put that away. And I just went on to the Flash and then Supergirl and then Legends,
Yeah.
which I watched all of them and loved them so much. But then every time I try to watch Arrow again, I'm just like, I catch up with them during the crossovers.
I love the Flash because even though their storytelling and the way they do certain things is their own artistic way of doing the characters, but the fact that the costumes and some of the characters are super canon to the comic books has made me a joyous nerd. I absolutely love it, and I'm trying to catch up on the latest season. I'm only a couple episodes left. So spoiler alert, Godspeed got shown up. Not the way I expected Godspeed to show up, but the whole white suit. I'm like, oh fuck yeah. And then the trailer reveals Death, and if you look at the previous trailer, they called it the Red Death, and I'm like, are we gonna see some Dark Knight metal? Like, that's gonna be fucking fantastic. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out those comics for the Dark Knight Metal series, please do. They are so good, so fantastic. It is. Whew, whew. Anyway, yeah, but I
Do you
love
need
the
to clean
Flash.
up? Do you
Sorry.
need a minute
I
to like wipe up?
No, I'll sit here with the jizz all over the place. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to. Today's being New Comic Day. I didn't get a chance to post or not. But yeah, for those of you who can't see at home, this was my pickup today.
Oh, nice.
The Red Death pop. So
for those of you who don't know who Red Death is, just a quick little story tell. Red Death is all these Batman medals is the multiverse theory that if you think of something, it becomes a universe. So Batman and his negative thoughts have created multiple universes. One of them, which being, he wants to go back and save all of the Robins from dying, and the only way to do that through time travel is by taking Barry Allen's speed. So he takes Barry Allen's speed, but in doing so fuses both of them into one being. And instead of lightning shooting out behind him while he's running around at top speed, he has little bats that come out. And the fun thing about those little bats is if you touch them, they absorb your life force and bring it to Red Death. I fucking love the Red Death. I don't care if you call it cheesy or what have you. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. So yeah, Red Death. I'm super excited to see if that's the route that they go with the Flash, because that was the trailer that dropped around San Diego. Anyway, last couple of things to talk about on this episode. The Witcher finally released a trailer for the Netflix series, and I have to say I am intrigued only because we already know everyone's kind of like Henry Cavill as Geralt. That doesn't sound like a good acting choice. So their trailer only drops the story mode. Like, it talks about the lore behind the game. It talks about like how things work in their world, and it only briefly shows Henry Cavill rocking it as Geralt. So I'm just like, I see what you're doing. You know people hate you. So you're going to show off to people that you're trying to do this story justice so that people will like you. Well played.
That's how you'll win.
Yeah, well played, Netflix. Well played. I have to admit, though,
when it comes to video game adaptations, the biggest problem is they don't stay necessarily true to the original content, and so that's how at least some Netflix is figuring this
Sonic
out.
the Hedgehog.
meow.
Hold up a second. Can I just take a second to laugh at cats?
That's exactly
Oh
why
my
I used
God.
that.
All I could think
Oh.
about was Island of Dr. Moreau. That's all I could think about. That entire trailer, I'm thinking freaking Marlon Brando saying, "Oh, my children."
So I will say,
Turn my children into abominations.
last comment about The Witcher. I did appreciate the way Henry Cavill's body language was playing as Geralt. Like, it was reminiscent of one of the trailers they had released where they're to his back and he's looking around, but he's still stagnant. It was great. So I'm really happy for The Witcher. Hope it does well. We come out with more trailers showing more Geralt. But yes, the segue, meow, because if you're anything and you've seen the trailer for Cats, you were just as creeped out watching that trailer as you were when you watched Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, Cats
Worse.
made Sonic the Hedgehog
Worse.
look like a masterpiece. Like, oh my God. Like,
Picture-
like I didn't even have to watch the trailer. They were like, oh yeah, they have cats with Taylor Swift. And I just went, please don't make me do this. And I watched it and I was like,
For the record, if you haven't seen the trailer, the best way I could describe it is somebody in a Zentai suit that has some degree of fur on the back of it, and they've somehow used paint and CGI, really bad CGI, by the way, to meld the face into the cat's head. I can't.
it's almost like they were like, hey, there's a musical and there are furries in it. You have 30 minutes to take a trailer, and you have no time to study. Like, it was just like,
What's a furry?
And I feel so bad for so many of the actors in this movie because I have to admit the only one who looks somewhat cool is Idris Elba's character because at least he's wearing like this long trench coat like thing and a hat. I'm like, he looks great, and then you like Ian McKellen shows his face. I'm like, oh my god!
I will say this: it is a true testament to how sexy Idris Elba is that he can even pull it off.
He can pull it off.
He can pull it off. No,
I don't know why he's not the next James Bond.
Like, I feel bad because, like, I know there's a lot of effort that goes into these, and
I don't think there is.
Full disclaimer, I have mad love for furries. That, like, those are the most expensive outfits I've ever seen in my life. They are, like, and they're the sweetest people, the most genuine people in the world, but good God.
They're trying to recruit you.
Run.
No, they're actually really chill, but, like, the movie is just that, what are you, like, why?
So, and the
Why?
other thing is, Cats is a lot like Bambi. There's no actual plot.
No,
So,
cats. It's like a phone book. There's a ton of people in it, and no storyline.
Magical
Yeah.
cats. Yeah, like, it's
don't
basically
reenact
just like,
that. I don't want to think about Amy, what's her fucking face, sitting there dancing as a cat. That was fucking mortifying.
it's like, it's one of those things where, like, you know those torture scenes where they, like, blast loud music? They just have to have a giant screen and say, this is, like, speak now and we will end this trailer.
This is what they were showing in Clockwork Orange, holding the dude's eyes open.
So speaking of that, remember a while back when I brought up about how at work we call it the ACM, not the AMC movie theater, and it's just the worst movie theater in the world? Well, when you get your ticket to Endgame, you actually go see Cats.
There's your green weenie.
And
No, it's when you go to it's when you go in expecting to see the Lion King and it's Cats.
Has
I
anybody
was like,
here
why?
seen Lion King yet?
I have.
Anyway, moving on. That's my response.
At another time.
Yeah, at another time, maybe. It'll be like Eris Quinones in a Variant Comics on his YouTube channel when he reviewed the Teen Titans show for DC. And normally he cracks a joke when he starts his show or says something cool about his shirt, something. This time around, he just stares at the camera, just roll the bumper, and just gets on with the review. It was that bad. That is my response to The Lion King. Visually stunning, but otherwise... Okay. Moving on. Yeah, so Cats. We're going to move on from Cats because I don't want to continue even thinking about how horrible and horrifying that trailer was.
Okay, I do gotta say one thing.
Okay.
I got stuck on a I was watching the Riverdale stuff from Comic-Con.
Sure.
She was stuck. She was so excited.
Yes.
Girl, don't lie.
And
There's
one
lie,
thing-
girl.
I was
oh, yeah,
stuck.
I love Riverdale. Don't hush. And anyways, I'm talking, yeah, because I'm there. they're talking, and somebody brings up the Cats trailer, and the kid Cole Spruce, who plays Jughead, he goes, you know, my one disappointment of the entire Cats trailer is they seem to have had a very low supply of buttholes showing. Because anyone who's ever had a cat.
Oh my god. The place I was staying at had 2 cats, and like one of them was just like, love me. Now touch my butt.
I know.
Or,
Like,
always.
love
This
me.
is your
And
this
then-
is your view. Yes. And so I only watched that today, so it was stuck in my head because that was hilarious. That was the best thing I.
And again, it's really sad because the music sounds fantastic. Like their voices sound fucking amazing, obviously. And there's an incredible cast list on this movie, and it's like Cats.
To the CD.
So did you all agree on like a Russian roulette thing with your careers today? As this is what's happening? Like
Pretty sure
alright.
none of them knew it was gonna look that bad.
They're all going, can I pull out?
hey,
Doesn't work.
kind of like my dad.
Ah!
To be fair.
To be back. Yeah, he should have. I know. It's okay. No, it's almost like they got like the cast and they were like, yeah, we're gonna do something with Andrew Lloyd Webber, but then didn't tell them which one. Like,
Well, they
but,
probably
you know-
said they were doing Cats, and it was a really popular thing on Broadway, which I don't know how, but and then they didn't get to see themselves because it's all CGI.
No, watch. They didn't put them in those suits, to do the CGI bit. They're like digital enhancements gotten so improving that they don't need those anymore, right? And they just got out there and they're performing a musical. But what they forgot to tell them was that they're gonna wipe over the entire screen and make them look like cats. Those poor actors.
yeah,
This is not going to be Will Smith and the Genie when we first see that trailer, see that CGI and go, what in the
Dude.
ever-loving shit? This is going to be fucking as horrible as it is looking right now.
dude,
They're not
go
changing
back
this. That's
a
way too
year
much.
ago when everybody was freaking out about Will as the genie. Who's freaking out now, motherfuckers? Like, like looking back, I'm like, wow, I was freaking out over nothing. This is great.
And last but certainly not least, which I'm sure we'll have a segue episode because we have to talk about this because we were supposed to talk about Chucky at some point. It too came out with a new trailer and it looks fucking fantastic. I'm very happy because right now it seems like horror remakes are actually doing an okay job. Not unlike Nightmare on Elm Street.
What? No, I think, yeah, the horror revival is doing great.
Yeah.
I think, not to kind of like jump on the bandwagon, but I think it has to do in large part to Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Because there is that love for that 80s nostalgia. And so they're like, oh yeah, that was like the mecca of like gory movies and gory horror and like all these classic horror movies. Let's bring this back. And it's like, I feel like they're doing a really great job with that.
It also goes back to something that we all discussed earlier and how people need a breather from all the superhero movies.
Yes.
And what's a better palate cleanser than a good bloody gore fest? I mean, you're not going to get any like
keep going.
schlocky...
Pull down further. Just kidding. She's distracting. I can't help it.
You said down further. I'm down further.
Oh, now I can't see anything.
Go ahead, J4.
Yeah, J4, you haven't said much. Let's go ahead.
No balls.
I'm gonna keep that one to myself.
No balls.
No balls.
Give me your man card right now.
No balls.
Mail it to me.
His wife has it. Shush.
True story.
Anyway, moving on to what you said.
But yeah, no, you seriously, would I like to see them come up with something original? Yes. But I loved Pet Sematary when I was a kid. It obviously, freaking awesome. And so seeing all these horror movies and everything, it's bringing back like my childhood and everything like that. So I'm like, cool. You've got like these campy superhero movies that have like buddy cop movies and everything and like saving the world. It's like, and then you got, holy shit, everybody just fucking died. So.
Yep.
Speaking of a refresher, that's the kind of reason why I'm excited for The Boys, because this is not your typical superhero story.
I think that's why. Yeah, I like the direction that they're taking The Boys, and not to talk about Legion again, but I like how they kind of like turned that into like a horror kind of thing, and that was really cool. So like getting to see it kind of like turn on its head is just like,
It's literally the equivalent of when you're done seeing Infinity War and Deadpool 2 comes out to kind of give you a, hey, you just got done watching a superhero movie. Would you like to see a bunch of people get shot in the fucking face? Here you go.
yeah.
Like, you still love superhero stuff and people in suits, but we're going to give you a bunch of really gratuitous violence for no reason. Yay! It's a family movie. And yes, that guy just got chainsawed to death. But yeah, I'm excited for it chapter 2 because I appreciated some things of the first It movie out of this series. It didn't blow me away. I wasn't super scared of the clown because Pennywise by Tim Curry is the reason why I have a degree of clown phobia as I burp in mid-sentence.
I just thought you were afraid to say the word clown.
I heard, yeah, I was like, calm phobia?
That too. I can't jizz, I tell you this. It's very hard to masturbate.
I was about to say, I thought it's because you just already. What are you talking about?
It's everywhere. No. I'm excited for this one because it seems like there's a lot more horror and a lot more gore involved in the sequel, so I'm very excited. Although I will admit, much like Crawl, the trailer for Crawl, and how there was only one trailer for Crawl, and every time you went to a movie, it always had to start the movie Crawl. And when I'm sitting there for Spider-Man Far From Home, and everyone went, "Oh God, no!" and then the trailer just kind of skips itself, and we're like, "Oh, thank God!" Like, it got annoying. So watching an old lady chase after her over and over and over and over again, I got really fed up. So I'm really excited they have a trailer too now.
But what's the Spider-Man movie without a Sam Raimi reference?
That's fair. That's fair. But for every other movie I go to, let's be honest.
Stop going to so many movies.
Yeah.
I
Start
work
going to
Oh,
so many
shit.
movies.
I can't help it. I have to review them.
So do we.
Yeah, I don't like movies that much.
You're just here to offer your pretty face, right? Yay! And there's 10 more subscribers now.
Yeah.
And we just lost 5.
No, we just gained 50 with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the beard. It's all the beard. So
That
anyway,
beard first. Oh my god!
since
Sorry.
J4 didn't get to talk much on this podcast, J4, what are you excited about?
Thor:
Tell me,
Love
Paul.
and Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Watching
He's
watching the panel and watching Taika Waititi hand Mjolnir off to Natalie Portman, I literally jumped, immediately forwarded that video to my wife because she's been wanting to do Jane Foster Thor for a while now, and
Nice. Now you can do it.
I'm going on record right now. I hate to interrupt. I'm going on record right now. They've already said that Valkyrie is going to be the first LGBTQ in the MCU. I'm going to say with Lady Thor.
Well, if you watch the did you watch the
panel? No.
the panel? Well, she actually said when she's talking about her time as the king of New Asgard, she literally said the first thing that I think she would do was find herself a queen.
Yes.
So
they've already confirmed it, and they've already said that, and she is going to be the first in the MCU proper first
in
gay.
MCU.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess
DC did
technically
it
two have
first.
to be first.
What's that?
I guess technically two have to be first.
Fair.
I just want to
It-
go
it
on
is very
record
fair,
and say that
especially, yeah.
I just want to go on record and say that DC did it first.
That is
Watchmen.
very true.
In the MCU,
Yeah, that's he is.
DC did it first
like,
in the MCU.
No,
That's
DC
our
like,
conversation
as far as,
here.
like,
did a
in the
LBG2.
There was some letters you blended together there.
Oh.
What was I gonna say?
We don't know.
It is very fitting because of like not only like the character but the actress who does Valkyrie. Like, it's nice seeing someone who's in that community, very big in that community, kind of taking that mantle. And I'm pretty sure it's not because of the actress itself, but because of the direction that the director wants to go, instead of just shoehorning in like, oh, well, let's use this one. So the fact that it's going to be a natural transition, that's like, it's something that I could see, and I very much appreciate that and respect that.
And the fact that they're making Doctor Strange a horror movie.
Yep, that's the direction
So-
that it needs to happen too.
Oh, so I
So
won't see Doctor Strange. So-
It's still going to be
And-
PG-13.
And Wanda's going to be in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You're going to
Oh.
see it. You know you will.
I'll watch it with you.
I will see it. No, I have to watch them alone. I have to be alone. I cannot do it with people. I will watch it from my room where I will watch like 15 minutes of it, leave, come back, watch like 15 minutes of it, leave.
If I'm there with you, I will strangle you and tie you to the chair, girl.
No, I won't have
And then
anybody.
she'll spank you.
Ooh, there's our Pornhub video.
Anyway.
She's gonna ball gag you.
She's gonna choke
Ball
you tight
gag
to
you.
a
She's
chair.
gonna get the
I mean,
paddle
I-
out.
My bedroom.
She's gonna dress up in all leather. This might be a dominatrix thing. We don't know, but all of it is just to intend to watch a movie.
I don't think I'd be watching a movie by then. I'm just saying.
Good.
I'm just saying, Jenemy, if she shows up in her Morticia Addams dress, you should be frightened.
We won't be. We will
Oh,
be
I
there
can't
with a
wait to
camera,
Adam.
but
You gotta
you
do
should
that.
be right.
I have a Wednesday, Adams. We should do that.
There you go.
Wait, wouldn't that be like incest?
Yeah, I was gonna
Are
say
we
that's
doing?
You know what? No,
Is it
no,
a
no,
mother
you know what?
shot
You know what?
thing?
You know what? Fandoms
You know
do
what?
it
There
with
are fandoms. Yeah.
no. You know what? If fandoms do it with Sam and Dean Winchester from Supernatural. Fuck
Yeah.
it. Who gives a shit anymore?
That is very true. You know what? That is very true.
By the way, I'm not
Rule
afraid to say it.
34. Rule
I'm not
34.
afraid to say it. As much as I love everybody, those people are sick. Those are brothers. God damn.
There's some sassy brothers. Shush.
Brothers don't
Um,
shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
No, actually, it just reminded myself
Tommy boy.
from my comment about DC
That
Comics.
guy in a little coat.
Oh my God! DC Comics.
Tom
doing
Cruise has
its-
lost control of the podcast.
DC Comics doing its first homosexual character. Considering I was referencing Watchmen, actually, I'm very excited from the news. So again, the Watchmen TV series. Yes, DC Comics did it first. One of the characters from the Minutemen in that show, in that movie, is gay. She's gay.
Which character?
She's
Um,
killed. And
God, what was her name?
the moth girl. I'm forgetting her name.
No,
But
no,
yeah, she
the
ends
black
up getting
girl
killed.
in all black.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, she ends up getting killed and like
Yes.
has
So Alan Moore.
in the montage she ends up getting like Dyke written
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
blood.
Oh, yeah,
lesbian
that's
right.
horrors. Lesbian horrors.
Yeah,
No,
that's what it
you
was.
gotta remember, Alan Moore wrote a Elseworld kind of thing, where an alternate timeline. So instead of the sailor who kissed the nurse after World War II is done, it's actually her. She gets caught grabbing that nurse and making out with her, and they become a relationship. But then later on, are found by someone
But there-
evil, obviously, and are murdered.
I mean, there's also
Yeah.
Constantine.
Constantine. Who in Constantine?
Or not Constantine, sorry.
I was gonna say,
Wow.
who?
My brain went.
Oh, are you talking about the CW shows? So
Yeah.
Chris Black Canary in the CW. Yeah, that's a good point too.
That's right.
But anyway, so it
Yeah,
reminded
that is
me
Constantine. I
they
got that right.
dropped a new trailer for the Watchmen TV series, and there are a lot of things on that show that I was like, "Ooh, this looks really good." This again continues to look fantastic, considering okay, the Minutemen started because the original Night Owl, he was a cop, and the mafia was using masks to do their things without getting caught, so he got fed up with it, and the character's name on the Watchmen, and her name is Silhouette. So he decided to don a mask and he would fight crime because the law's way of doing things with cops wasn't getting the job done. These mafia guys were doing horrible things. They're doing that with this new show. 2 detectives are putting on masks and hoods and running around and performing vigilante crime acts. So I think that's a great callback to the original Minutemen. Cops, the reason why they have the yellow over their faces to cover their faces is so that when they, book somebody and do their thing, the mafia doesn't find out who they are and kill their family, which I think is an interesting way to do that because, again, there's a lot of bad stuff that can come with wearing a mask. So that was fascinating. But the biggest thing of all that I absolutely loved from this trailer was the fact that people are celebrating these heroes. They've created a blue face mask, just a blank blue face mask to celebrate Dr. Manhattan. His mask is on the floor. A guy in a suit and tie walks up. All you're seeing is his pant legs and his shoes. And then he reaches down to grab the mask, and his hand is glowing blue. And then he picks up the mask. I'm like, is Dr. Manhattan coming back for the show? Holy shit. So that's just what I had to say, because I am super excited for this TV show. I'll be watching it every night.
There was a Watchmen experience there, and I almost got to see it, and my group didn't want to do it, and I was really sad about it. But they basically had. I know, right? You guys should come next time.
We will.
We'd all be on the same track, right? But no, they had like a little booth there where they were saying like there are people who worship Dr. Manhattan like a god.
Oh.
And they had these little like call centers where like kind of like mini churches where they would try and reach out to Dr. Manhattan. So to see that kind of callback was just really exciting.
That makes so much sense. Again, if anybody needs a refresher, Rorschach, as a contingency plan, decided to leave his journal at a newspaper agency. So in the event he dies not making it, his story would be told. So everything that Adrian did to make it look like Dr. Manhattan was this evil piece of shit was basically destroyed because of the journal. It gets told in the news, and there's a bunch of cults that want to follow Rorschach, and I can
freeze. He can freeze.
The truth needs to be told.
No!
You froze.
I froze.
You froze.
Fuck it.
For a while.
Yeah. I don't know. It was caught. Who knows? I guess that's it for this episode, though, because we covered everything we needed to cover. Stay tuned next week for whatever the fuck we decide to do. Again, I mean, we could do the horror finally, because we've been talking about it for fucking ever.
Maybe a video game or two.
Maybe a video game or two, because again, we keep talking about
We're
that.
supposed to do like week 2 of our cosplay stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I can
Jesus Christ.
contribute this time. I feel bad that I missed
Same
out on
here.
it last time. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed out on that too.
Now we're good.
He's like, I'm done.
Fuck us, I guess.
Later. Bend over.
I'll be the camera winner for that.
You got it. You won't get paid though.
Marines never do.
None of us ever do. 15 cents an hour? Are you kidding me? So yeah, that is our episode covering San Diego Comic-Con, even though only one of us went.
That was a lot.
Oh shit.
Oh, by the way,
Yes.
next month on Netflix, Invader Zim.
Nice. Yeah, that's gonna be fun too.
Hey, the Dark Crystal! Sorry.
Yes.
She has to pause from licking the air and probably grabbing air boobies. Who fuck knows? Do it off camera.
Because it's the Skeksis. I mean,
I'm reaching out for cosplay enemies.
yes.
No, you have to read.
Oh!
So weird. So weird. This is Geek Boots, Military Nerds. Thanks for tuning in. Check us out on Facebook, obviously. If you liked what you're seeing and you like us as a whole, hit that like button on our videos. Subscribe so that and hit the little bell button so you can get updates. And be sure to drop some comments. Give some thoughts, feedback, what you want us to do better or what you want us to talk about as a whole. Yeah. Apparently fish lips are going to be a thing now. Check us out on all the platforms we have. I'm Tom Cruise. With me is the full family again with J4.
Toodles.
Tired Toodles. Mayan Goddess. Oh, God damn it. Cosplay Jenemy.
Yay!
Single Dad.
Deuces.
I need a thing.
We need a thing. We are Geek Boots. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye. Boom.
Motherfucker!